I was like, okay. So Erika is with Kensington Vanguard title, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and give us a brief indication of what role she plays in the mortgage buying process, and then I can shoot her with some questions. So Erika, go ahead, take the floor, honey.
Hi guys. Yes, so I work with Kensington Vanguard. I insure title on a national basis. So it gives me a little bit more of a broader view than just New York as to what's going on with the general health of the real estate industry. In some states, I act as both title and settlement agent, which means that I'm the person that is insuring your property, and I'm also the person that's handling all the money. In most New York transactions, however, I'm just doing the search work, the title work, and I don't handle money. So that is a bit of what I do for you when you buy a house.
So tell me, Erika, on the title side, right, you have to be in constant contact with the counties to get taxes and to see if there's violations on the property and things like that. How has COVID affected the county's availability to you guys to clear title?
Sure. So to understand what's really happening in my life right now, you kind of need a history lesson of title insurance. It actually starts way back when. New York is one of the original 13 colonies, which means we still have deed and record rooms inside county vaults. California, however, is a newer state in our union, so they're almost 100% online. So in the Midwest, I've been able to continue to operate business as usual because everything is online. Whereas in New York and New Jersey, I actually still have counties that it is one big paper trail. So what my job is I actually go into these counties and I look and I do a chain of deeds, chain of mortgages, I do lien searches, because we want to make sure that the property that you're buying is free and clear, that there's no issues. So sometimes the blanket question is, hey, are you still insuring title? And again, it's hard to answer. It really is county by county. It depends on when the sellers took title. It depends on a couple other factors. I mean, Montgomery County is completely dead. There's no online access. There's no way for me to look at anything. Whereas New York City is a little bit different. We can kind of continue to press forward. So my tip for any other real estate agents that are listening is to, when you take a listing, ask for a copy of the owner's policy. I know it's not something you typically do, but when you can give your title company something like that or a copy of the deed, it really helps our case in a time like now.
And so let's talk a little about that owner's policy, because who has it? Where do they find it? How do they get it? Those are going to be the questions, and we want to make sure that our real estate agent partners know exactly what they're doing. We don't want to look stupid out there. How do they get it?
Sure. So an owner's policy is actually the backbone of any transaction. It's the most important document that you will receive. Everyone thinks it's your deed, but it's not, because typically that's recorded in the county and we can get a copy at any time. So a seller typically receives an owner's policy within 4 to 6 months post-closing, depending on how quickly we can get documents recorded, which means your seller has it somewhere, right? They could be your 70-year-old seller that's a pack rat and has it somewhere, or they could be a millennial that threw it out. I don't know, but they were given a copy, right? If they cannot find the copy, hopefully they have a copy of the deed. We can start there. If neither of those are an option, then they have to start to think. They have to try to figure out who the attorney was that they bought the house using, and then they're going to have to backtrack in their records. So it is definitely not the easiest if you don't have a very well organized seller. But again, I'd rather have the seller start to look the day that they sign the contract than wait until a day before closing.
So if COVID has told us anything right now, is kind of getting your paper documents onto some kind of disk or some kind of backup system so that you have them readily available. Because, right, when the counties do shut down, you need them at your fingertips, kind of, so to speak. So I appreciate you talking about that, because it's very important. I do think that the longer that we're in this situation, the more we're going to have to use our resources outside of what the norm is. So thank you for speaking about that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add as to what you're seeing out there? Let's talk about, even Stephen and you can both jump in on this. How are the closings happening? And then we're going to talk to Ricky, because he always waits patiently and he's always the last one I talk to. I promise the next time I'll make you first, Ricky. But I want to talk about how the closings are going down and how you guys are handling this. I've seen videos of both you and Stephen doing things. There's masks, there's separate rooms. Erika's doing stuff as a drive-by. It looks like a McDonald's drive-by thing.
Yes, I did one in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. It looked like a drug deal. Yeah, so I'll start really quickly and then, I'll end with just, first of all, there was a big law passed that states that remote notarization is okay for purchase mortgages. But I have not done one remote closing since this started, completely, fully 100% remote with remote notary, because the banks don't like it.
Right.
So, and then I'll leave it to our attorney to kind of go. How have you been doing it, Steve?
Hit it, Steven.
So two quick things before we go on. This actually is beneficial for Susan and what Erika was talking about. I have less problems with getting title. I have more problems with getting municipal reports from title. So your buyers, you want to make sure they go with a bank that doesn't need municipal reports. I know Susan's bank, doesn't need that. There's many other banks that don't need that. So you definitely don't want to go with the big banks that definitely require it, because you can't close.
Right. Go with a bank that you're comfortable with that doesn't require all the documents.
Something like that. Now to go with like what Erika was saying about the closings. I haven't had a true remote closing. As a seller's representative, we'll have them pre-sign, whether I have power of attorney or they actually come in and pre-sign. Then we work out an agreement, an escrow agreement with the buyer's attorney or bank attorney. Typically, they're in two different places. The closings. But as far as remote closings, I haven't seen one bank really allow that, because they do want wet signatures, and when they send the wire, they don't want the closing to happen 4 days later. So we're just doing them in different locations. I've done parking lots too. I try to get everyone in our office as far as our client, and then the other side in their office. Some attorneys that work out of their homes, this has been a big challenge for them. And those people, we've either let them come in our office in a different room, or we've done it at the title company's office. But yeah, the closings are still happening when it comes down to it.
I think it's just important to, however the buyers feel comfortable, right? I've had some that are like, yeah, I'll come into your office building. It's not a problem. I'm cool. Do I even need a mask? And then you get ones that want to show up in a hazmat suit and lock themselves in their car. And right. I respect both ways, because that's, their prerogative. So I think it's very important that all parties just are respectful of what the clients want and figure out a way to accommodate it.
Well, thank you guys for that information. I appreciate it. Just so everybody knows, my attorney, they're closing. So if you're having a difficult time out there with anybody on your team, meaning realtor, attorney, title, inspectors, loan officer, anything you need, just contact our team here. We seem to have everything going on. And now I'm going to talk to Ricky, because he waits so patiently for me. And I really want to know. All right, family. I appreciate you guys. You guys stay safe.
Quick picture.
What?
Wait, quick picture.
We're not even there. She's taking a picture.
Wait, before the plane turns off.
What do you want? Side view? What do you want?
Your best angles.
Oh, that would be person.
Cute.
Thanks, guys. Go back to work.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
Bye.